Before we dive into today's episode, just a quick word from the sponsor CWD Pond. Whether or not you're building your new koi pond or you're upgrading your existing setup, these guys have got you covered with sleeper pond kits, pond windows, pressure pipe and all the essentials you need to build a pond. And for Koi Perspective podcast listeners, you can enjoy 5% off using the discount code TKPP5. Check them out, all the links are down in the description below. Let's get into today's episode. Hi and welcome back to the Koi Perspective podcast. I'm delighted to say we've got our first ever international guest. We're going global. So I'm joined by Naoki Atsumi from Japan. Thank you for joining. I think it's like 3 a.m. in the morning at the moment. So I am very grateful for you to jump on and do this with me. It's very, very much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, I don't mind, but just I still afraid of my English still poor. So over 30 years, I'm so regret I don't have any opportunity to keep speaking English. So my English is very poor now. So if you don't mind, I try to best for anything assistant and anything so.
No, your English is a lot better than most people's Japanese.
It's true, yeah. Yeah, I'm just grateful to have you on. I think I'll start. How are you, Simon? You good?
I'm good, yeah. Very busy day at work, but it's Friday, so I'm good.
Yeah, and not often we get to interview somebody from Japan, so
no.
Interesting. So let's start Atsumi or Naoki Atsumi. How you got into koi from the very beginning?
Actually, my dad kept koi from since I was born.
Yeah.
And he was taking me to the koi shop and everywhere. My age is 3, 4, 5. So when I age 6, I can say all the variety of koi. So I can see some small kids in your koi shop, some sort of type of child.
Was it a big hobby in Japan when you was a child, or was it very popular?
Actually, I was living in Tokyo, so I couldn't have a huge pond like a countryside people. So just a small pond, and I enjoyed keeping it. But since I school food, I don't care about just video games and music wise. But when I graduated the high school, I started to work at koi shop in some suburban place of Tokyo.
So you were selling koi to Japanese hobbyists?
Mainly.
Yeah.
But actually, my same high school OB, old boy, was keeping koi shop in Koi no Yoshida in Kunitachi City. And I forgot about koi for ages, but I can tell him I can distinguish the koi variety Showa and Sanke. Oh, you know the koi.
Yeah.
So I started a part-time job for koi shop.
Yeah. So how did you end up coming to England? How was that brought about?
That place is actually pioneer of exporting koi at that time. And Peter Waddington, he was a pioneer. He was a very well-known person in England. He was coming our shop and lots of foreign customer. At that time, very unusual. Maybe 95% is domestic market and 5% is only the export at that time.
Yeah,
it's opposite.
You're very opposite now. Yeah,
but 95% is for export now.
Yeah. So did you speak English at that time?
No, at all. I can't speak English at all. Same as usual Japanese person.
Yeah,
but, many of foreign customer coming. So I'm always have the ambition to go abroad somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't mind States or Europe and England. So I found some customer came from England, and I tried to have the chance to go there.
Yeah. So what was that? How was that opportunity? What was it for people that don't know?
I don't work very often, maybe once a week at that time. But when foreign customer coming to the shop, I try to help, and I took them to Niigata or Isawa, and found one customer coming from UK. He is a music producer
Okay.
called Waterman, and I take care of him for several times. And since he started to says he would like to start koi business in the UK, so I decided in my mind to get in the part-time job more often.
Yeah.
And I tried to make the koi pioneer.
Mm-hmm.
And I approached him, and he took me to the UK when he started his own business in North Cheshire in Warrington.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you find it coming to England and doing koi in England? How did you find that experience?
Do you
How
ask?
did you find it? So when you bring koi to England, was it different from Japan or not?
First, weather is different,
Yeah.
and also annual schedule is totally opposite. And at that time, all the finished koi only exported, not like now.
Yeah.
I don't care about, but I had a shock. So most things is happening. Koi show opening in midsummer.
Yeah. Very different to Japan. So you say there that more finished koi were exported. In Japan, is it more common at that time to buy fish which would develop and grow, like tategoi or, that type of thing?
Even in Japan, we separate the two things, consumable type koi and tategoi.
Yeah.
Megumi Yoshida is a shop called tategoi exclusively. So I could find the way to how to find a good tategoi out there.
Yeah. So when you was working for Pete Waterman, was you coming to Japan and buying fish to take to England, or was you in charge of the fish in England? What was your responsibility?
Unfortunately, I'm not really into buying and selling koi. I'm originally koi hobbyist, so
Yes.
I can't change my mind. So I just watch the business on just away
Yeah.
and watch it.
Okay, yeah. So you look after koi as well? Or...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah. Because it was quite a big koi dealership, wasn't it, when it was built?
Yeah, but unfortunately, he runs his shop just backyard from his private house. So unavoidably, it has finished.
Yeah. But it must have been a cool opportunity for you to come to England and do that. Because at the time that was the start of koi in England, really. Not many people were exporting it. So did it feel like you were a pioneer at that time?
No, actually, Peter Waddington started his infiltration, had already 10 years advanced history.
Yeah.
So almost established.
Yeah.
So lots of koi dealer or as existing, not only the PWO, all over the UK. Almost nothing changed since now.
Yeah. So you still keep in touch with UK hobbyists via the internet. We obviously have the way that we keep koi is very, very different to how it is in Japan. It's one of the topics that we have, and me and Simon have discussed it quite regular on this podcast. How do you feel about how people in England keep koi?
Okay, so most such things is all the information from gets through the koi dealer and koi farmers. So there is almost no exchanging information by hobbyist side. So yeah, totally no cooperate and no communicate with hobbyists. So a lot of things different. And I surprise now a lot of aquarium culture habit. For instance, checking water test quality. The habit is totally no spread among Japanese hobbyists.
Yeah.
Aquarium culture, I believe.
Like aquariums. I think, Simon, you we've talked about this before, about how the Japanese have different ways of keeping koi. Obviously, we keep them as pets, and I believe that's a big difference in how also the Japanese keep koi. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it is a big difference, but I mean, we don't really see koi keeping point of view from a Japanese hobbyist perspective, really, do we? We only really see how the breeders keep the fish. We don't really see how a Japanese hobbyist keeps the fish, do we?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't really have much to compare it against. I suppose, there is going to be differences to some degree. I know they're not big on using microscopes and things like that, are they? There's Naoki just said they're not really fussed on water testing and things like that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I know, like we've said before, Joe, our water's crap.
Yeah, very bad water, which means that I think we have to test some of the water. But I think Atsumi is right. We don't to maybe talk as hobbyists to each other a lot, and I think we do get advice from koi dealers, and maybe sometimes koi dealer wants to sell something as well, which can be a reason for the advice. But Atsumi, you say that Japanese hobbyists don't test their water. How do they look after fish? Is it looking at fish? How best would you say Japanese hobbyists look after koi?
Fundamentally, watch the fish and distinguishes how the state. For instance, there's a big priority to check the fish faces when feed it and look at the koi swimming and the behavior and the dynamic and check the faces and check the filter and adjustment and get improved. So, Simon, what is happening problem at the moment?
What problems?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the biggest problems I think that UK hobbyists face is the terrible water supply, really. Not just that, I think a big problem in the UK for koi hobbyists is the massive temperature fluctuations of koi ponds for people that aren't heated. That causes big problems for people.
Temperature going up.
So do you set the heating system in your pond?
I've got heating in my pond, so for me it's not so much of a problem because I can control my water temperature. But a lot of UK hobbyists don't have that, so they're limited to the way they can keep their fish, and to some extent the problems they face can be a lot more because of water temperature going up and down really, really big. So sometimes water temperature can be cool, and then we have a really nice warm 2 days possibly, and water temperature can get really high in just a short space of time, and then the next day it can be really cold again.
So even in Japan, now is exactly the time of year to necessary to take care of. Almost the problem happening in this time of year. But once settle up and we start the heavy feeding from June, July, August. So now is a very difficult time even for Japanese hobbyists.
So when if you see a fish with a problem in Japan, what would be like a common way to solve fish which is not swimming in the pond and not feeding, for example?
Firstly, most important things is to make your own annual schedule. So when purchase koi, when finished, when settle up, when start feeding. So we don't buy koi another one after another. That is worst things to prevent the koi problems. So same as koi farmers. So releasing in the mud pond, exactly the same schedules. We set up and ready for growing season. And before the feeding time, we normally sterilize the pond by salt or malachite green or sometimes potassium. So to
remove illness
and prevention for problems.
So this is something that I've been speaking about, and something this year I am doing, where I have decided my fish for this year, and I will, what you say, sterilize the pond, potassium, and then after this potassium, no more new koi for the pond. So I also believe whenever I buy a new koi, I always get big problems. Simon, have you ever done this before, or is this?
Yep, terrible for it.
Yeah.
I say I'm not going to buy another one for this season, but it never happens. And yeah, it does. It causes problems. You guarantee as soon as you put a new fish into a comfortable environment, what's settled. Yeah, put something in there, something kicks off.
So now, okay, if somebody out in England is in a feeding season and they have hot water, they're heating, and then they add a new fish in, that can cause big problems, won't it? To add something new, it's possible to get illness from that.
We believe the koi is a team on the pond. So they try to help each other, and the total fish's behavior is perfect. They protect I believe. That is a way of koi farmers do in mud pond. Yeah. So I don't think infectious problem is not care. If you add another fish from afterwards, balance is broken. So yeah. we dislike it.
Yes, yeah. I see. So one thing you believe heavily, you have taught me, is in the feeding season, to have fish which are relaxed when feeding. Why do you feel this is so important?
If fish is active, pond water is getting mature. So probably their digestive average is improved. So faces and dropping is getting smaller. So total ecosystem is the most important things we create. Yes. So even for beginners and top hobbyists and koi farmers and everyone try to find, even in the small tank, we just try to make the whole perfect ecosystem. So that is the main things we always aiming for. So we don't care the test kit and parasite microscope. Yeah. Just we always watch them and adjust and to make the perfect swimming. Yeah. Yeah.
You look at if you go on a morning to your pond, you look at the behavior. You do not go to test kit, which makes when you tell me
it makes sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense. And
because you know by looking at your own fish, even in your own pond, you know when something doesn't look right, don't you?
Yeah, I know when something is wrong. You have taught me as well to actually train my fish to be not so. Before, in previous years, when I go to my pond, my fish are scared to see me, to see my face, hear me come to the pond. You believe that fish should have a relaxed behaviour. How best is it to achieve this? Do you have any advice?
Asking me?
So, yeah. So, when you go to the pond and the fish are swimming very fast, not relaxed, you have taught me to try to train my fish to eat in more relaxed environment.
Yeah, we sometimes train the fish. I post to some Japanese hobbyists trying to do just a small amount of feed and catching fish and watching and a small amount of feed. So we training them.
Why do you feel like that is quite important?
Finally, if from the total pond ecosystem is mature and the swimming is perfect, easier to manage.
Yeah. Sometimes I will get fish. I have fish in my pond because you say fish pond is like a team. Sometimes I will have one fish which is very aggressive eating and will make the rest of my fish maybe a little bit nervous.
So that's why we always match the size and settle the same type of feeding behavior fish ideally.
Yeah. Sometimes
every farmer has a same size, different sizes, different behavior happen. Always we try to, so higher level of hobbies, they have 4, 5, 6 different ponds. Yeah. And they have a male fish is male and chagoi and asagi is chagoi and small sizes earring and misai, they separated. Because of they are all different behavior, feeding behavior, and have to match them. That is ideal. But hobbyists, it's difficult. Sometimes keep big koi, large size koi, and small tosai. But ideally, we better, because different behavior of koi will make the 強いものと弱いもの. Only strong is survive.
Yes. Yeah. Strongest
So,
with...
for instance, farmer, Showa and Ginling is impossible to keep in together. Because Showa is stronger than Ginling. So Ginling is a Ginling pond and Showa is a Showa pond. If mixed together, Ginling never succeeds. Because different survivors.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand. Very difficult. But it is possible in England to have mix and achieve a good ecosystem, isn't it?
Nothing
just with
different.
training.
So my personal experience, I was in Pete Waterman's house, a small greenhouse. And firstly, water is slightly hard than Japanese tap water. Because I drink it and the calcium is in the kettle. Oh, what's happening? Yeah.
Not used to calcium in kettle in Japan.
But I just try to adjust the same style as my keeping way. Finally, pond water is mature and sparkle and full of aerobic bacteria. Show us the sparkling. You sometimes say crystal clear water. That is totally unsuitable for koi fish.
Yeah.
A perfect water is transparent, but full of aerobic bacteria. Super perfect water is shiny and, very not crystal clear water.
Yeah, dead. Yes, I understand. So I like water with to see that there is lots of feeding happening. Sometimes it can be yellow or brown colour water, or maybe even green colour water. Is for me, I see that in Japan in feeding ponds, like quite a lot of koi food being used, and water is not crystal clear. But to me, when I see this kind of water, the fish skin is amazing. In Japan, in clear water, the skin is not so amazing as in brown water. Do you agree?
I don't care about the water, just the amount of aerobic bacteria. Transparent water can obtain aerobic bacteria, as well muddy water in mud pond has aerobic bacteria. So if mature water, it can protect the koi itself, and they have the mucus. So finally, the harvest time, they have full of mucus. That is a good form to protect for parasites and all the small injuries.
So when you worked at Pete Waterman's greenhouse, did you change new water in ponds? When would you ever add new water to the pond from the tap?
Question, is North Cheshire is a good place for water quality for compare with other area?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
I don't feel any weak point to compare with Japan water. If once settle, new water is full of calcium and high calcium pH. But once settle, for instance, the blanket wheat, I never saw. That is nothing existing in Japan. Sometimes, but once settle and the pond water mature, blanket wheat is naturally disappear.
Do you think, did you ever, when you have mature water with lots of anaerobic bacteria, when would you never put new water in, or would you add new water, or?
So that is the highest, most important things. So to make the balance. Without feeding, pond water never make mature. But too often, too heavy feeding make water dirty.
Dirty, yeah.
So we adjust to feeding, and we check their digestibility.
In England, it's common for people to try to achieve 10% water change every week. Do you think that is too much in a feeding season when you are feeding a lot or not?
So basically, there is absolutely no rules. So depends on the fish density and circle of pond filtering system.
Okay.
So 10% is just a common rule, but sometimes change 20%, 30%. We always watch the result. Result is the most important things. We don't care. Some people change water 10%, some people change 80%, but result is okay.
Yeah.
So another thing is koi food. We don't have the culture of believe the brand. I don't care who uses Saki Hikari. I don't care. But just result is okay. We choose cheap food.
Yeah.
Another issue in England is sometimes when you're doing your water changes, the water that you're putting in is worse than the water that you're taking out. People that don't have purifiers and things like that, because in our water, the water contains a lot of heavy metals. So that's another reason why a lot of people have a lot of problems, because of the heavy metals in the tap water.
Yeah. So we have like things that are like copper. Do you know copper? Things like this in the water that, like for myself, I've had to add extra filtration to my tap to remove this, because I see my fish, when I put new water in, they react very badly. They do not like the new water that I put in. So it can be very expensive for people to find out which problem in the water they have, depending on where in the country, in England, they live. But I suppose in Japan, this may be not so big a problem.
Yeah, certainly we are advanced, much easier to keep in koi for the temperature problem and also water quality.
Yeah.
But even in England, some people succeed.
Yeah.
So my personal experience is North Cheshire's water is good enough.
Yeah.
It's okay, nothing problem. So I don't know some strict regional problem on tap water. That is, excuse me, but I don't know the solution. Just see the successful people. That is a fast way to...
Speaking about koi foods, do you believe in using only a floating food or a food that sinks to the bottom as well?
It's up to you.
Up to us.
Yeah, and when I was Japan, when I was Tokyo, I tried to feed silkworm pupae and sinking food and floating food. There is no rule. Just to make the koi fishes swimming perfect behavior. I don't care about floating but middle sinking is best, I know. But a floating food is easier to watch their condition.
Yeah. I like to use a mix. So my small koi, smaller tosai, can get it from the bottom, and my big, more powerful koi can get it on the top. So
exactly I used to try to eat.
Yeah. But sorry, go say.
I was just going to say, do you think it's a possibility that a koi, when you speak about the behaviour and things like that, if we think about feeding behaviour, do you think they might be able to feed much better with a sinking food because it's their natural way of feeding? So they might be able to get bigger and stronger by using sinking food?
I think the best thing is to create the best atmosphere in pond. Do not scare them. Do not scoop.
Do not net.
Feeding season.
Yeah.
Make training.
What about the way people build their koi ponds with the aeration, so the air in the pond, the air pump and things like that. Do you think we do that okay in England? Because you see a lot of ponds that we build.
For instance, important thing is dissolved oxygen is necessary. So sometimes some people put the aeration on the pond and as well in the filter tank previously. If dissolved oxygen is enough, we can feel the fish getting bigger and the fish eat food more. So, but back shower is not very popular in Japan, I said. Because electricity is very expensive.
Yeah.
Only the person who knows the effective and cost performance. So back shower is not a first choice. Ideally,
I want to put this question to Naoki as well, like what we've discussed before, Joe, about different types of filtration. Why is it, do you think, that the Japanese don't use so many fluid bed filters?
Fluid filters?
So plastic media moving bed filters?
Not spread yet.
Not built.
Yeah, we are late. Only recently, a drum filter is started selling Japan. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we don't have. So if good things, we'll accept it. So maybe.
So do you think that Japan is behind in that form of filtration?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think in England we have very good filtration, but also very, very different from Japan. So I visit Ogata Koi Farm and I open the lid on his filter and it's all stone. But in England, we would see it and think, wow, very dirty, the stones, and it's not got any air bubbles. So in England, we all use plastic media, which is very clean environment. Maybe too clean is my thinking. I don't know.
First things is, if we visit Ogata, we don't care someone else. We just aim for result. So I make the list of YouTube. Lots of Japanese hobbyist ponds. Some people has unbelievably high density. Some people keep koi in shallow water. But if result is okay, we don't care. We can't interfere them.
Yeah.
So we always aim for the result. So we are very not care about the process for another person. That is true.
We build filters. So in England, we are very lazy. We don't like to clean koi filters. So drum filter is automatic, so we can be more lazy, I think.
Yeah, we have waximizing machine you see everywhere, full automatic high pressure machine is very popular, but that was too expensive for ordinary koi hobbyists. So drum filter is cheaper, that is better.
Yeah. With koi foods, speaking about koi foods, a lot of people in England believe you have to spend a lot of money for koi foods. And I have spoken to you about this before, that you believe that buying something that is maybe suitable for carp, growing carp fish, and then adding natural ingredients in might be an alternative. Do you still believe this is an option for people to try?
Everyone believes Saki Hikari is the top and the highest brand and perfect food. But we don't need always perfect. If water temperature above 20, any food is effective, I believe.
Yeah. So how do you achieve good colour on koi food without expensive koi food?
Color means color enhancing Hiban and red color pattern. Do you asking me the...
So if you feed cheaper koi food, like a carp food, how do you achieve good coloration? So good beni, good white shiroji, and how do you achieve good colour?
If koi is healthy, if koi is swimming better and activity is okay, we don't care the ingredients of koi food.
Really?
Better food is better, but that is expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, very expensive, yeah.
That is marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So our, middle class and lower koi hobbies always seeking fresh and better, cheapest food.
Yeah. In Japan, do you use anything like clay products or anything like this in Japan?
Maybe beginners, early stage of pond running or after the washing filter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, pond is mature. That is not necessary, and though always there is a problem of the blocking filters. So my routine is a washing filter and sometimes provides a clay for settle the biological filter. But that is not indispensable. If your fish is healthy and swimming is okay, doesn't matter.
Don't need. Yeah. What about feeding things like you mentioned about silkworm? Is it something in England? It's maybe not so common, I think, to feed these type of
That was
foods.
common when I was in UK.
Yeah.
And lots of floating faces on ponds. So they don't know how to provide and how to affect them. That is only necessary pond work. Easy. Just feed the food and check the faces.
So when you say check the feces, what is good feces?
Nothing.
If it's floating feces, what do you think about that? What is it?
Indigestible and fish has diarrhea.
Oh, okay, yeah. Which is big problem.
If you continue, fish's body shape is broken. Lots of things happen. The fish buries like this.
Oh, okay,
Still, fish is seeking food. They can't control the appetite. They always need the food. And if you give the food without the thinking about their state of digestion, they will have a body broken, like chest.
Big belly. Big between the head, just after the head. Big.
And
bulge.
We have to put the flesh on the back.
Yeah.
If once fish bulky body shape in summertime, we don't need to give the food in winter time.
Yeah. So we speak a lot about fish in England. I want to speak about some koi in Japan. I see tosai this year, nearly 50 cm. Tosai. Very different to when you start importing fish with Pete Waterman, isn't it?
Sorry about
Tosai at 50 cm. Very different to a long time ago when you were starting in koi. Big tosai now. Do you have much thinking about? Yeah. 50 cm tosai now. Crazy.
You are tosai?
No. In Japan, 50 cm tosai.
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
But that's a silly thing. If fish has a ability and potential, 80 centimeter or 90 centimeter, 100 centimeter, doesn't matter at the early stage of 50 centimeter. Just Jumbo Tosai is a product name. Just their only device or convenience to check the gender in 1 year advance. And they put the name called Jumbo Tosai. Good idea. Sellable.
But do you think in Japan they grow too fast now? Growing too fast, too young? Because a fish that is only tosai, 50 cm, is almost too fast to grow. Do you think this or no?
Which variety? Chagoi or Karasigoid doesn't matter, but Kohaku Sanke is not necessary to grow too fast.
Yeah.
Because a pattern has broken, I don't know.
Yeah. This affects the pattern and the skin. I had a very interesting conversation with you about bloodlines in Japan and your belief on how the people are now using Karashigoi bloodline in Gosanke. Do you want to maybe explain your thoughts on this?
So there is no new. So there is no more brand new things. So they have to crossbreed with Karashigoi. And when I was a time, old Manzo brood and Sensuke brood and lots of, we can find possibility, but almost no possibility. Everything has done.
But when we had the conversation in Tokyo, you mentioned about maybe the Karashigoi, adding Karashigoi to Sankey bloodline makes stronger koi. Do you still believe this or no?
Sometimes, but hard to keep the quality.
Yes.
For instance, long time ago, Matsunosuke tried to get the Magoi common carp brood, but as soon as he resigned, the Momotaro continues the Magoi brood. But main house of Matsunosuke dislike the decline the quality of Sankey.
So Matsunosuke blood with Wagoi was not possible, or was it possible to breed these things? Because I remember you mentioned to me that so many years of Matsunosuke Sankey was meaning that very difficult to breed and go back to Karashigoi and Wagoi type fish. Is that correct?
Sorry again.
So you mentioned to me that the Matsunosuke bloodline is so far away from Wagoi. It's
Wagoi.
So the Matsunosuke blood was very distant from Wagoi, very far away. So Magoi. Sorry, my mistake. So very distant, very far away. Matsunosuke, Sankey.
Finally, why they try to such a trial to get the one or a couple super Oyagoi. So finally, Momotaro calls the name Mako. I never saw. I don't know, something part of colored carp factor with Magoi's body shape. Just only whether available couple future potential Oyagoi or not. So if some super special Oyagoi they obtain, that is aiming for.
I see. In England, when a carp breeder makes a Sankey fish, a Sankey, he cannot move it outside because it's too cold. The Sankey will die in cold temperature. But Chagoi, as example, is okay in cold temperature, no problem. Is that why you think that Matsunosuke is not able to be strong bloodline now, or?
And also try to get the super jumbo koi. So finally, one fish had a grand champion 35 years ago, probably. But now it is not profitable, and he found no future for progress for his lineage. But Momotaro has get Mako, Oyagoi, so he could continue to develop his lineage from the only one special Oyagoi.
So the Sakai Fish Farm.
Which Sakai? Hiroshima?
Yes, Hiroshima.
Okay.
He used Karashigoi in Kahaku parent. Is that, do you think, to make big, strong koi, or to make koi more Wagoi? Magoi, sorry.
More unavoidable choice. There is nothing possibility, something brand new. So that's why they try to mix with Karashigoi.
So they cannot mix with.
So 30, 40 years ago, Dainichi Masters, Mr. Ma can get the brand new Oyagoi from each places in Niigata. So he gets Torazo Sankey, he gets the Sadazo Sankey, and everywhere. They can create his own lineage from the other places, better fish.
Yeah.
That is 30 years, 40 years ago story. But now all the crossbreed and getting similar type of fish, nothing possibility to progress brand new. So that's why unavoidably they change, seeking a new Oyagoi for Karashigoi and Chagoi.
I see. So they cannot breed with something else because it's too close together, is what you mean to say.
And getting weaker and getting smaller. That is always happening.
I see. It's fascinating. Do Japanese koi breeders still sell oyagoi, or maybe do not want to sell to other koi breeder?
Depends on price and relationship. I heard the quite expensive money to transfer oyagoi. Like a football team. Sometimes Real Madrid and Manchester City changing, but if your price is high, possible happen. Quite famous story, Dainichi Showa had a grand champion 10-15 years ago, very beautiful, but body is 80 centimeter only. So the Mano brothers tried to get the oyagoi from Momotaro, and now crossbreed and get the grand champion this year. There is a Momotaro brood to take in. But finally, Momotaro Showa is from Mako, probably, and from Magoi.
Okay.
So, Dainichi don't take the Magoi brood directly, but finally, as a result, he took the Magoi brood for this year's grand champion.
Oh, wow. So that was a fish you think was bred from 15 years ago with that fish from which won grand champion, but this one this year was with a Momotaro, and they breed that to try and make bigger koi, you think?
Yes.
That's very interesting.
So we can't continue the lineage with inbrood, finally getting smaller and the quality is getting down. So lots of story, why Manzo, Kohaku disappear, why Jinbei Sanke is gone. That is always cross inbreed. So
if Sakai now, as an example, if they breed with Karashigoi, is that bloodline now protected for future or no?
I think that is only a trial. Sakai Hiroshima has so many oyagoi lineage, and they can crossbreed with here to here. You can crossbreed. Yeah, Sakai is why so strong is they have full of oyagoi stock with different type, slightly different type and cross. But still, he is trying to something better. Sometimes get Dynamite, Ochiba, and Karashigoi. But probably they will find out not Karashigoi, just something special body type, something special fish. And as a result, that is Karashigoi. Do you understand?
Yeah. But they choose Karashigoi because it is close to the Magoi. Is that correct?
Sorry, again?
They choose the Karashigoi because it is close to Magoi. Closely related to Magoi.
Karashigoi is maybe probably easier to get another oyagoi.
Okay. See.
Magoi is a 100 years or 200 years ago story.
Yeah.
That's difficult.
Yeah.
Take another 20, 30 years requires. So Karashigoi is maybe he found something special Karashigoi.
Yeah.
Specific something special oyagoi he found on Karashigoi.
Yes.
If that is a benigoi, if chagoi, it doesn't matter. But just he found something special, one special oyagoi in Karashigoi. So why he choose crossbreed Karashigoi?
You have been involved in koi since you were 6 years old. What do you think the future of koi will be for the next 10 years? Because it is crazy at the moment. A lot of fish go into China. England is maybe buying not as many koi as they were. What do you think the future of koi
Japanese breeder and hobbyists very greedy for find something brand new. And I believe everyone seeking something brand new type of brood for in Europe and other country and the States, and maybe koi brood line. Try to find out another new brood, not only Japan. Try to find out
in
overseas.
Europe. What you mean, like a common carp or
some mutation? So I can see the fishing magazine. You can see sometimes Asagi type mutation appear.
In France, I see. Yeah.
And I don't know the escape from koi pond, but we can see the photo of everywhere in Europe and the States and other country. Mutation koi.
Okay. So they maybe
Like
see.
wise.
So they maybe look for new mutation, as you mean? Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
So we can create the new kohaku lineage. Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I need live another 50, 100 years. But
I see in Japan always my favorite koi farm is Otsuka Koi Farm. He very smart man, makes lots of new varieties. Kage.
Yeah.
He is a professor of koi. Mastermind. So sometimes you see new things, but you need to have crazy mind to create such koi. But no, thank you for coming on and doing this interview. It's very interesting, and I think we could do 10 more interviews and people would still find information from your mind.
My English is too poor to explain. Maybe only 10%, 20% limited. So I will try to improve my English again.
Oh, no problem. I speak in English that's easy for you to understand, but I think people just want to get advice from Japan because it's not easy for people to get advice from somebody like yourself.
Please make time when you go Japan. I try to find out to visit the Japanese hobbyists.
Yeah, I want to try and do that.
But they are not secret policy. But firstly, they don't care. They always watching results and they are very strict for results only. So they don't care about another person's things.
But I think I need to also learn Japanese, so I am still trying to learn a little Japanese. So in future, maybe I can do this podcast in Japanese.
But anyway, I apologize. I don't know that this program is okay to release to the people, but my English is so poor. So.
Yeah, people will find it very interesting. So thank you. And it'd be nice for people to maybe leave a comment with a question. And I'm sure that we can maybe sometime try and do this again if Atsumi makes the time. Okay? So if people leave a comment, and I'm sure we can try and get some answers at some stage, whether that be just asking you on email or something. But yeah, it's amazing. So thank you for coming on. And
maybe from next time, please prepare some questions and for topics, and I try to investigate in advance.
Yeah,
and the more we can exchange the information fluently.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Well, thank you again for coming on. Thank you, as always, to Simon for giving me your evening. I think we've both just sat here and listened to Naoki just chatting. It's just awesome. So, yeah, I hope people enjoy this and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're on all the major podcasting platforms, so go ahead and check that out. And we'll see you next week on the Koi Perspective podcast.
Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.